Hey, welcome back to another Netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Sincerely appreciate you joining me for episode number 63, DataPush not working correctly. If that's the case, go ahead and check your data types. What I mean by that is demonstrated as follows. I have here a very basic model. I have a sales matrix. It's got a year category. It's got metrics going across the top. For 2016, I have 550 as my sales. What I've done is I've gone ahead and I've created DataPush. And I go edit DataPush because I've already created it, and I'll just step through it. It looks something like this. I'm going out to this table out on our server. You can see here that I have year selected as an integer because that's what it is. The value is an integer as well, and the metrics is a text. If I continue to click next, I select my JDBC connection here. It's going to connect really quick. I don't have any pre or push SQL, and I'm going to blow out the table every time and overwrite all data in this table. Okay, I go ahead and I click finish. It says, hey, do you want to execute this now? Say certainly. So go ahead and gives me all those prompts. Now if I navigate back over to SQL Server, you can see that I have this table that it's created. My metrics are varchar, my year is an int, and my value is an int. If I go ahead and I hit F5 and refresh that, you can see that it's bringing in sales 2016 550 value. So everything's working in order. Well, what you want to be wary of is, say somebody goes in here and says, well, I'm going to add another 2016 number, and I'm going to have it called actually 2016 revised. Okay? And I'm going to make it, say it's 600 in sales now. If I were to go ahead and push this by clicking up here on DataPush to push the current matrix, what happens, it says, hey, it's pushing it, it truncated a table, it pushed it successfully. I go back out here to my query on SQL Server, I go ahead and I just refresh that. You can see, wow, sales, yet 2016, it's 550 and it's 600, and I'm like, well, that's not right. One of these needs to be 2016 revised and not 2016. What happens then is, if, say, I'm pulling this into a downstream matrix or model, it's going to give me 1150, right, for my value for sales, where in all actuality, maybe it's only 600 or 550. So what's happening here is Quantrix is still recognizing this year as an integer. So if I were to go back here to DataPush, edit my DataPush, click here, and I were to change this to a text from an integer, okay, click next, so on and so forth. I overwrite the data, I click finish, and I execute it. What's going to happen is going to say, hey, well, your schema changed, right? If I can click the detail, you can see that there's going to be an altered table here, and it's going to add year, it's going to drop the year, and it's going to re-add it as a varchar. I click yes to that. So then what happens, schema updated successfully, and then it's going to tell me that the data push succeeded. And then if I go out here and I hit F5, you can see that now my year is correct. And if I were to refresh this, I believe, if I could do that, you would then see that this were to change to a varchar here. So yep, there you go, once I refresh it. So if you're having some problems with your data types and maybe some data not showing up correctly via your data push, make sure you go ahead and you check your data types when maybe you've had something that you thought was one data type, but now that you've made maybe some revisions to it and added some text in there, that it's a different data type. That could catch it. So I hope that you find that helpful. If you have any questions about Quantrix, about DataPush, DataNav, any of the above, anything Quantrix related, feel free to reach out to me at quantrixauthority@gmail.com. I'm absolutely passionate about Quantrix. I think it's a fantastic tool. I want to make you a Quantrix master. So please join me again for another episode of Quantrix Authority with Rich Lopez.